So, howdy y'all, welcome back to... Whoa, I can see a flag. Welcome back to the adventures of Anton Rayne. Let's see what's going on in Holsword. Economic relief plan? Or we can go to Confront and talk with Marcel Carante. If I remember, Carante is in charge of the news media in this nation. Which do we do? We should be responsible and focus on the hardship of the people, as much as I'd love to go to the TV show. With the assistance of the National Business Council and the Central Bank, Simon Hall put forward a countrywide relief plan to mitigate the economic hardships that are being felt. We can either provide stimulus checks for the people in need, or bail out businesses under serious financial strain, or decide not to approve the plan. Well, firstly, I'm not going to bail out the businesses. The point of a free market system is that when something can't swim anymore, it sinks. It separates the wheat from the chaff. And by subsidizing failing businesses, that's not going to help. It's not going to help new innovative businesses emerge. It's not going to help anybody except for the people who already have businesses. We're not doing that. As to the stimulus checks, I think that's a bad idea. The reason I think it's a bad idea is it's going to create inflation. Now, maybe it won't if unemployment is bad enough, right? If unemployment is so bad, it might get sucked up and not immediately create inflation. But when you throw a lot of money into the system, that really risks fucking everyone over. So for the moment, and this might be a bad idea, I'm not going to enact any of these plans, Simon. Plus, we don't have the budget for it. That would cost us 2 government budgets. We only have 6 government monies, and we're going to have to spend it on the military and other things. Alright, let's go talk to Marcel. Our motorcade headed to the meeting location set by Marcel Carante. Oh, you want to see what he looks like? That's what he looks like. Oh, it's me. I'm lovely. Alright, Lurch. I had only my most confidential and trustworthy team members with me. Hey, and my main man Serge, the driver. After a few hours of driving along the River Eskel, we took a turn before entering Confront. The darkness started setting in as we drove up to a hill. Hey Serge, where we at, bro?
We're nearing the HOS Country Club, Mr. President.
Heart of Sordland conglomerate. It's a multi-industry corporation worth tens of billions of SR. Sure.
We'll be there shortly, boss.
We arrived and the big iron gates of the country club opened. It was huge and outright extravagant. Aw, damn, this shit's extravagant, y'all. The main building, inspired by lesbian architecture, you know, it likes to scissor. Serge is like,
that's not what it means, sir.
I think it is. It was illuminated from all sides. It was rather chilly. I was approached by Peter Vector and Lucien Glad. I hope the journey was comfortable. Well, I'm not going to say anything to keep me away from home, because my wife cooks my favorite food in a jar or whatever. She's pretty nice. And she's got... I was going to say she got tatas, and I like tatas, but she's actually been very supportive, and she's not been a big dummy. So that's a plus. Is there a reason I'm single? Hey, lady I'm dating, I really like you, not a big stupid. I got all the most romantic sayings. Wait, what was that saying? I'm not going to say... You know, I'm going to say this location was very... I'm not going to say this part. You're like, pick one already, dipshit! I can't think of the comfort when our country is descending into chaos. That's stupid. This location is very remote indeed. It's a very exclusive country club for people who value their privacy. How'd I get in here then? You're the president. Yeah, I know. I know what I am, Pete. After opening the marble engraved wooden door, we were greeted by 2 tall women. The Talls? The receptionist led us to the meeting room upstairs. I'm going on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment. Marcel was standing by the window looking outside at the beautiful complex. He turned around to have a quick look at us both. Take a picture would last longer. He was a strikingly handsome man. This man? Is this like, did the artist draw a picture of himself and be like, damn? He was a strikingly handsome man with well-groomed hair. He's making fun of me because he has hair. He walked towards me with his hand reached out for a handshake. How about a milkshake? I'll reach out for a handshake, why not? I shook his hand like a real man. He had a firm grip. I remember once at a job interview, I shook the woman's hand and she's like, wow, you have a good firm grip. I was like, what kind of pansy handshakers were coming in this office? And I have to say, I did get the job. It was all about that grip. It is such a pleasure to meet you in person, Mr. Carante. I appreciate your efforts to reach out and establish a mutually beneficial friendship. Hey man, friendship is the best ship. Thanks for hosting us. I admired your father very much. May he rest in peace. Was that before or after he died, Pete? Oh, sir, we're trying to make friends here. Oh. Welcome. Your kind words have touched me. Mr. Vice President, he was a great man indeed. Please accept our condolences. I'm very saddened by your father, who I never knew, but I loved his TV shows like Man vs. Beast. I'm thinking of the Fox show. I assume that's what they had here, but we couldn't afford good beasts, so it's a dude wrestling a dog for like 3 hours. He would have been very happy to hear this from you, Mr. President. It's time to look forward, though. Let us talk about our bright future. Well, I'm not going to say let's have a seat, because this is not my place, and that is too forward. I'm gonna flatter this fuckface. I heard about your meteoric rise in the HOS. Shouldn't it be fall? Because meteors... Well, I guess they don't... I don't know. They don't rise, do they? I am flattered. You truly are going to be the best president this country has ever seen. Have you been drinking? No, I say this because you have gone against the odds and survived. I respect that more than anything. That's a very low bar. I mean, I know there's a lot of violence in this country. It seems we've had similar experiences, Marcel. Marcel gently pointed at the seats. We sat down around a gigantic table. Before speaking, he knocked on wood. The past months have been tumultuous, to say the least. I am glad you and your family were unharmed at the shooting. Yeah, me too. The whole incident must have been a shock for the kids. They aren't used to what we lived through back in the late 20s. I know, I tell my wife that every day. And she's like, you gotta baby them. I'm like, don't you remember watching people butchered in the streets? Oh, yes. I still remember when my father took us out of the country. Or took us out of the country when it became too dangerous in Confront. Wait, so you fled when things got bad? I could be like, spare me your life story, fuckface. They were startled, but the important thing is they are safe and sound, and I'm talking about my family. I love them so much. Of course, that's all that matters. No family should suffer from tragedy ever again. We've had enough of that. I agree. New best friend? I thought we were best friends. Shut up, Peter. Well, I am known to be a very straightforward person, so let me get to the point without wasting your valuable time. It was during the Alfonso campaign when I was struck by what you have done within the party. Marcel started to look at one of the paintings at the wall. Are you talking about the painting or me? Is that painting accomplished more than me? I'm gonna go look at the painting too. I observed the painting. The famous piece depicted a giant sleeping beneath a village. The trees, rivers, and hills were a part of the giant's body. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. Its eyes were two caves looking up at the people. It showed daylight at the far left and at nighttime the far right. I bet if that thing farted, it would blow away like a town's, building or something. The giant seemed to be watching the village. It was totally unbeknownst to the villagers. Marcel pointed his finger at me! You said that we will transform this nation, Mr. Rayne. My conglomerate is a way of doing things, and I don't want them to change. Alright. So I want to cooperate with you. I love it when people cooperate with me. Please keep going, friendo. Please explain further. Let's not have any unsaid. Let's not have any misunderstandings, right? I don't want to walk away from this where I accidentally agreed to him letting children work in the TV mines or something. Please explain further. You might have the people's support now, Mr. President, but what happens when you make mistakes? Oh my God! I always make mistakes! Everybody makes mistakes. What is that supposed to mean? He's right, Pete. We all make mistakes. I think it might be a threat. I don't know, Pete. What if we're making a mistake right now? Let's hear his point, Vice President. All right, Lucian. Being a president in this country means having many enemies. Enemies that would resort to anything to bring you down. Oh man, that brings me down. Let's say these enemies caused a scandal or leaked sensitive information from the administration. What kind of scandal? Would it be something that I was super cool? What? Like I can water ski on one leg? That's not a scandal. You could share that as a scandal, though. That I'm super cool. These would be destructive scandals, you know, if that information were released. If they were released. Oh, no! Shit. Continue. No, he says he's a straightforward man. I'm gonna be a straightforward man. Are you threatening me? Absolutely not. I merely offer a helping hand. What do you want in return? Nothing's free in this life. I want two things, Mr. President. Number one is a guarantee from you that the Rayne administration won't meddle in HOS affairs no matter what happens. That seems like a pretty big give. They're involved in nearly all industries, but only have a monopoly in the media. See, I don't know. I get the guys before us, like, Tarkin Soul is like, he's got some title where no law applies to him, and he's a permanent member of the Congress. So, like, these kind of backdoor affairs probably happened where people got carte blanche, but I can't give you full carte blanche. Like, I don't think that's possible, sir. Number two is a simple gentleman's favor for the future. Wait, how was that previous thing not that? Let me prove my services to you first, and I'm sure you won't disapprove when the time comes. This seems sketchy. How do I know I can trust you? My circle advised against this. They don't even know we are meeting, Mr. President. We both put ourselves at risk here, but I am willing to trust you. Wait, you deceived your circle? So why would I believe you? If you deceive those you work with to try and kiss my buttocks, why would I believe you, sir? The question is, are you willing to trust me and accept this offer? What do you think about this deal, Lucian? And say it right in front of this guy. Lucian leaned to my ears and whispered, no, say it out loud. Oops, wrong voice. I think it's a good deal. He is right. We will need the media support. With his newspapers and channels on our side, we can dodge a lot of bullets. Wait, how many scandals are you thinking we're gonna have? The one thing that bothers me, though, is his favor request. We do not know what it is, and he could ask for something that could point fingers at us. Remember, Lucian, when you point a finger at one person, there's three fingers fingering you back and a thumb pointing towards God. Marcel interrupted us. So, do we have a deal? You know what, Mr. Cronty? I cannot give you a carte blanche favor. I would love to be your friend, but I have to reject. I am sorry. I hope this doesn't bite me in the ass, because I know there's a scandal. He's gonna go tell everybody. It's a scandal about how good I water ski, right? Right. Such a shame, Mr. President. And here I thought we were going to be good friends. It's a shame, really. You know what I would love? What I would love at the end is if he wasn't really crooked. He just wanted to ask me to go, like, see a movie with him or go drive go-karts. He just is lonely. He really just wanted a friend. I'm like, he's trying to get in with us, and he's like, I'm not good at making friends. Sorry, bro. You know what? Goodbye, Mr. Kranti. Thank you for your time. I don't want to anger him. He made me an offer. It was... I feel like it was shady. I feel like it was shady. It was clearly potentially shady. But I don't know. Let's leave. Peter, I go where I want when I want. And I just happen to want to leave right now. We left the complex and entered the car. Man. I thought that would have ended better. I feel like we did the best we could, Lucian. I mean... He pushed it too far, bro. He pushed it too far. The threats were unacceptable. I agree. Now, I could have said instead, Lucian, this was your fault. You set it up. I'm not going to. Lucian gave us an opportunity to meet with somebody who's in charge of mass media. You know, you got to take some shots. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, let's go back to Whole Sword. That was a failure. Wait, there's no news or anything? What is this with overview? The economy, situations. What's new? Monetary inaction. Oh, that's because I didn't do anything. Without the stimulus funds needed, many households and businesses are filing for bankruptcy, leading to goods and services being reduced, and unemployment rates risen? They're rising even. As such, investments and savings across the country are declining at an alarming rate. That is true. This is part of the economic cycle. This is what we call Shitsylvania. But we're working on fixing the rest. Oh, the funeral of Bernard Circus. Do we go to that? We do! I thought it already happened. The death of Bernard Circus has shocked the country, and the funeral will be held in Tyre among a large crowd of sympathizers. Circus was not only a communist poet, but also an elected MP and had a voice. Not anymore. A state funeral has been organized to honor him. The question is whether or not the administration, and more El Presidente, will attend. We will go and honor him. Look, if we want to heal the rifts that divide our society, we have to put out some olive branches and shit. Attend the funeral. Dark clouds were looming over Dire. Dire clouds, even. They looked daunting as our convoy approached the century-old cemetery. It looked like they're coming to get you, Barbara. It looked like it was going to rain. Certainly fitting weather for a funeral. Do I tell that to his, widowed? Hey, you know, the weather was perfect for a funeral. Really got me in that funeral mood. As expected, Bernard Circus's passing maintained its media traction, and all of Sordland was paying attention to the ceremony, especially to what I would say in my speech. I feel like I'm making a little bit too much about me.
Sir, we have arrived.
Thank you, Sarge. Raindrops keep falling on my head. They were running down the car window when Serge opened my door and held an umbrella over my head. As soon as I got out, flashes from the cameras blinded me. No! I'm gonna have a King Kong moment! I'm gonna climb the Chrysler building! Grab a young maiden! It's okay, Serge. I will hold my own umbrella! I was gonna say I don't need an umbrella. I'll let it rain on me to show my, solidarity with the dead. But no, I think I have been El Presidente for too long. I will be like the common people, Sarge. I will hold my umbrella. It's so heavy!
As you wish, sir.
Wait, are you saying you love me, Serge? Like the Princess Bride? He handed me the umbrella and started waiting next to the car with his own. Peter and Carl exited from their own cars to the convoy. They made their way over to me. Anton?
Mr. President, I just wanted to inform you that the perimeter is clear and security completely. There's no one getting in or out without our knowledge.
Thanks, Carl. Good work, Carl. I could tell him you better be right, but if he fucks up again, he's gone. Carl bowed his head with respect. Good. If anything happens to Anton, you'll have to answer to the First Lady. Peter, you're not my lady. I meant your wife. Oh. I wouldn't mind being... What? Nothing. And trust me, Carl, you don't want that. Yeah, my wife's a badass. Did you hear the rumor that I might water ski it? Sure, Sarah, nobody believes that. Oh. Peter let out a laugh, which drew some attention from the bereaved attendees. Peter, you're making everybody look. I could tell him he's being inconsiderate. I'm not gonna do that. You know what? Fuck it. I'm always on Peter's ass about things. Pete, you're the only one who can make me laugh at a funeral. Let me join in. Ho ho! Let's enjoy a hearty laugh at Circus's funeral. The dead don't care. They're fucking dead. Life is for the living. Yeah, right? I mean, life is full of tragedy. We should try to take it easy if we can. Okay, Pete, a little quieter. I was just fucking around. Okay, I should not have encouraged. I was not trying to encourage you. No, Pete, you weren't supposed to take it to the next level. You were supposed to say, oh, okay, we had a little laugh, let's move on. Oh my god, toga! No, it's not going to be a toga party. It's not going to be an orgy. It started to rain. Several unintelligible voices, which is me when I read half the time, were heard from Carl's radio. He stepped up to reply and returned shortly.
We have a small problem, sir. A few, 5 to be exact, Red Youth members are here to attend the funeral. They've apparently said they wish to pay their respects to the fallen comrade.
Now remember, there's been a lot of violence between the Red Youth and the Young Swords, the Red Youth being the commies. Now, we don't know that these 5 members have been a part of that violence.
Should we let them in?
Do you think they pose a security threat?
No, they were thoroughly searched. It looks like they're really here to attend the funeral.
Let them in then, man.
As you command.
I could put extra guards on them. I'm not going to do that, man. They already probably feel like the state's down their backside. Carl, you better not have fucked this up, though, Carl. Let's head over. They're about to start. Don't you do any more jokes, Pete. Everybody walked towards the crowd circled around the grave. Everyone in attendance was wearing black and mourning. The rain started pouring heavily. Bernard's widow and daughter were in the front row, staring at the coffin with a mixture of disbelief, confusion, and above all, a cold, unforgiving sadness. Both of their eyes were very red and swollen from weeping. Before taking my place to observe the ceremony, I gave my condolences to Bernard's wife and his daughter, who looked at me. She reminded me of Deanna, my little stupid baby. Hi, Daddy! I'm not really here, I'm in your dreams. Just like my friend Mustapheles. Hey, bitch, I ain't got time for a funeral. I got a party to go to. Alright, you have fun at that party, Mr. Mustapheles. I would like to imagine Anton said that out loud in front of everyone. When the religious ceremony was done, I was invited by the priest to deliver my speech. I took the podium, like that guy who broke into the Capitol during January 6th. Free podium! I felt like I had a lump in my throat. I couldn't get the daughter's eyes out of my head. Today, we are mourning Bernard Circus, a father, a husband, and a loyal servant of this country. Towards the back of the crowd, I spotted the members of the Red Youth, wearing red shirts and black bands of mourning on their arms. They seemed ruly and were respectfully bowing their heads. How can you be ruly and respectfully bowing your heads? What? Oh wait, no, ruly. I only understand the word unruly. Oh, they're so ruly. See, I was right to let them in. There was complete silence except for the sound of raindrops. What do I say? Do I say it's a great loss for us all? Do I say I disagreed with the man? Do I say... I'm not going to say regardless of his ideology. That's rude. I can say he was a true comrade. I'm either going to say A or B. I think I'm going to say B. I will confess that I disagreed with Bernard Circus almost entirely, but it doesn't mean he deserves this. Our country can be, it should be a better place. Let's see, I can be narcissistic and say it's about me personally. I can say that, the blood of Bernard will not remain on the sacred ground of Sordland. I can say that this will never happen again. we're in the midst of violence. I can't say that. What I can say is let's honor the man. We're here to honor the man, even if we don't agree with him. We're trying to unite the divides between us. Circus had a dream of a united Sordland. In these next months, we need to fulfill his dream and band together, but without communism. What'd you say? Nothing. Now, this is my opportunity. I think this is my closer. How do I close it? I love this vengeance one. The tears of the family left behind have a price that needs to be paid. I will not stop until it's paid in full. I'm not going to do that one, but I love it. But we're going to try and do this one and unite. But hatred begets hatred. There is only one way to overcome this vicious cycle. We must unite against the evil of this world. Now I would like to recite one of the poems he left us. Please be Milk, Milk, Lemonade. I could sing about strength. I could do his stupid one about the sun. I like this last one. They did not let us sing our songs. They are afraid. Afraid of the dawn. They are afraid of hope. But our songs, they will be sung. A moment of silence, please, for Bernard Circus. During the silence, all that was heard was the Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens? Oh man, we're going to be really good this year. Man, the playoffs were rough, though. Some attendees started clapping, and some started crying. What's a cry clap? Crap? Oh no, that's not a good merge of the words. Some of the attendees started crapping. No, put your pants back on. The coffin was lowered into the grave by the gravekeepers. After a couple of minutes, Bernard Circus was with the soil. No more. That's enough of him. Time to move on. Oh wait, no, I'm going to do one last thing. As we bid farewell to Bernard, I want to close with the words every sword lives by. Ah, Morgna West Corps. Everyone replied, Vectin Sister! Victory is close. This was a great moment. Bernard, you did a great job uniting us by getting murdered. With applauses, woo, yippee! I stepped down from the podium. The yippee is not appropriate. Why not? It was time to leave. The widow thanked me with a soft and defeated voice before we dispersed. What a nice lady. On the way back to the car, I still couldn't get the eyes of Bernard's daughter, nor the faltering voice of his wife out of my head. Would Deanna, Monica, and Frank look the same way if something happened to me? Peter put his hand on my shoulder. Then that was a good speech. I sensed only respect from his voice. I'm sorry, Peter, it is 1950s. I'm a man and I cannot express emotion. It's time to go. Agreed. We've got work to do. He was right. We had work to do. So much more to do. I realized that the rain had stopped, and I looked up. We see him up in the clouds, like, what is it, like in The Lion King? Simba. The black clouds slowly dispersed, and there was an idiot poet in the sky, and sunbeams enlightened our surroundings. As someone once said, even the darkest night will end, and the sun will rise. Hope was still on that horizon. Well, that's a positive note. I got a collection item. Something about Circus's room. Do I dare look and see how it was, how the news media liked the speech? This isn't meant to be narcissistic. Did they love me? Do they really love me? But to see how it played. The whole Sword Post says, they are afraid of hope, but our songs will be sung. Huge crowds of mourners, including President Rayne and other senior Swordish officials, joined under a rare display of unity poured into the heart of Dyer today. To bid farewell to Bernard Circus, the poet and politician who was shot and killed at the gates of the Maroon Palace after Rayne's inaugural ball. It was actually during the ball. We didn't really get to finish the party. With hundreds of police officers in riot gear on duty and traffic barred on major thoroughfares, the normally chaotic section of the city took on a somber atmosphere. Malvaniest anthems played from loudspeakers along Freedom Avenue as Sordid citizens of various ethnicities stood shoulder to shoulder, many of them in tears, crying like little babies. Others leaned out windows and over balcony railings to watch the procession. President Rayne gave a unifying message to all of Sordland by attending the funeral. He paid his respects to Circus and met with his close relatives. Rayne also made an emotional speech that touched thousands of attendees. You can't prove I touched them. He finished his speech with a quote from Circus. They did not let us sing our songs. They are afraid. Afraid of the dawn. Afraid of hope. But our songs will be sung. Alright, so the Holstered Post liked it. It played well with these nerds. Sordland today. President stands together with Red Youth. Bernard's circus funeral was held in Dyer today among thousands of attendees. President Rayne, that's us, drew criticism when he agreed to attend the funeral. Fuck you! I go where I want! While the decision was not totally out of the ordinary, the fact that Rayne is giving support to a known member of Red Youth who promoted Malvanianism throughout his life is unusual. Later in the day, President Rayne was seen together with a group of Red Youth members, standing together in paying respect to circus. Nationalists who saw circus as a traitor heavily criticized the president's move. Never would Sol have thought that his party would be led by someone who stands together with a communist who studied in the homeland of Malvasianism. Look, dude, the guy was dead and he was murdered by an assassin. I said in my speech I don't agree with him, Sordland today, throwing me under the bus. You're supposed to be the happy paper. What about the radical? Thousands attend the funeral of circus. Earlier in the day, mourners in Holstered gathered outside the Maroon Palace, where Bernard's circus was shot, holding identical black and white signs reading, "We are all Bernard Circus. Don't say that around the assassin, or you might get shot." I think he's dead anyway. "And we're all Malvanius." Well, I don't approve of that last part. The funeral took place in Dyer amid tight security. White doves were released into the air, and much of downtown Dyer was closed to traffic. President Rayne was among the thousands who attended the funeral. This is a positive indicator that gives us hope that the state might finally be giving up on a lynching culture and start to practice self-criticism. Circus's murder has stirred debate about nationalism in Sordland and has been viewed with concern abroad, especially by the Malvanius bloc of the East. Well, last thing we need is them looking at us. So, it played pretty well. Not all the papers loved it. Either way, I think we did the right thing, right? The man was a member of the National Assembly. He was assassinated for his political beliefs, and even if we disagreed with those beliefs, we cannot allow that to happen in our society, and his family or people too. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, I think that's going to be the end of this episode. Next time, more emergencies. Diplomatic situations. Oh, my God. I don't know. Let's have some post-funeral drinks. Party. I'll see you all maybe next time.